We are live. Welcome to episode 36 of the High Slot Podcast, brought to you by our producer, Mass Music Radio. I'm here today, as always, with the boys, Bob Deuce.
How are we?
Snipsky.
Yes, sir.
And myself, Andrew Coco Curry. How we doing, fellas?
I'm a little fuming right now. I coached before this. Whatever, went well. Kids listen, good practice. I hit the highway to come back here to nice little quick turnaround to record the podcast and hit practice later. Dude, what's up with people when there's a little bit of dusting on the ground? Just can't fucking drive. So I'm off the Dedham exit. I barely got on the highway. I'm like not even close to the Fall River split at all. I'm like near Stoughton. And it's dead stop traffic. I'm like, oh, maybe there's like a car accident, whatever. Maybe like there's just like whatever, like, you know, stupid traffic things. I look up on the GPS, nothing. It's just like red. I'm like, all right, what's going on, dude? Not even kidding. Dead stop traffic for 20 minutes. We get through like the Milton exit, like 2B, and it just opens up. You know what I mean? It was just like the floodgates just open. I'm like, all right, what was the point of that? You know what I mean? Like there was no accident. There was nothing out. You know what I mean? Nothing. And then whatever. And then it gets even worse. I had to go buy my, this is like, it wasn't even snowing really until I hit Quincy. I go to my apartment because I had to stop by to grab Simma's stick. Dude, I pull in my driveway. I'm backing out. And there was some person coming, like I see like headlights. And like the one thing you should do, obviously like the one thing that actually makes sense, you probably stop and like pull over off to the side and let whoever's backing out of their driveway back out and then go on their way. Dude, this person kept going and then like pinned me into like between like two cars, and I'm in a truck. And then I'm like, I put my arms up. I'm like, what are you doing? What am I supposed to do? And I'm beeping. And then this person was like, oh, throws it in reverse. Like they just like didn't know what they did, like whatever. And then like I pull over, I roll down the window, and I'm like, dude, like what were you thinking? He goes, oh, I didn't think what I was doing was wrong. I'm like, all right, buddy, like you need to get your license revoked. You know what I mean? Like, so I think some people like don't have like brains in their head.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a fact. I mean, welcome to New England, dude, where people don't know how to drive.
Dude, it's like NPCs. It's like it's like I was driving like for the past hour and a half. I was driving around with a bunch of NPCs, like people that don't even have brains in there. They're just programmed.
Bots.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. It's fucking simulation. But that's just me. That was my rant. That was my rant.
It's all the people like that are in the left lane going down 95, going up 95 north, and they're going to Fall River, but they're in the left lane going all the way to Boston, and then last minute they just realize they're in the wrong lane, and then they turn and they try to cut everybody off. They just switch lanes, and that's what makes traffic. Everybody slows down because they have to get over like 10 lanes.
Yeah, the amount of F-bombs I dropped in my truck, dude. Oh my God, I was fuming. But
that's my commute almost every day. Like something happens on my commute to work every day where I'm just like about to lose it, all fired up, like going to work. Like I'm just cruising left lane, you know, no traffic, and then all of a sudden some ass wipe in front of me just slams on their brakes, and I'm like stopping short, almost rear-ended them. And then I look ahead and there's nothing.
Yeah, and then
like,
you go,
what are you stopping for? Dude?
Yeah,
out to lunch.
And it's even worse when they do that, and then you're like, all right, fuck you, and you like pull around them, and you just look at like what kind of piece of shit just did that to you, and they're on their phone. Like they're just like they're on their phone, and you're like, what the, like, dude, you start getting even more mad. You start just like hyperventilating. I hate that shit.
I actually see more like, what are you saying, like talking on the phone?
Yeah.
Well, I see a lot of people
or just scrolling.
Yeah, I see people like this, like looking down, like in driving like shit though, and I'm like, and they're going mad slow, and I'm like, all right, I gotta get in the right lane and go right past them because they're
scrolling on TikTok and shit.
Slow as dick. And then I'm like, look over at them, and they're like looking down like this, going like 30 or whatever, 40 miles an hour on the highway. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is why there's accidents and traffic.
Yeah, in Massachusetts, it's supposed to be hands-free driving, too. You're supposed to have your phone mounted. You're not even allowed to, like, have it in your hands.
Yeah.
And it's like, where are the stadies pulling people over for this shit? You know
I guess they got bigger things.
No. The stadies are parked on the side for, like, the radar test. They're just on TikTok scrolling like everyone else.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's our taxpayers' money.
Bobby conspiracy.
I know a couple stadies, and they'll admit to that.
Yeah, I know, 100%, dude.
Not on air, but they'll admit to that.
Oh, absolutely.
After a couple drinks.
Dude, you bet your fucking ass they're doing that.
Yeah. But I don't want to stay on this for too long and rant about,
Yeah, we could
how
do it
bad
all
people
day.
are driving in New England. But Bob, you dealt with it. And then, dude, me today, ready? I'm merging onto the highway to go home after work. And I'm in one of those temporary lanes when you merge on and eventually it ends and it's just like guardrail. And if you're in the right lane, you see someone merging on, you either speed up past them or you slow down and let them, get on the highway, right?
Yep.
Dude, I'm trying to get on. This person just staying next to me, like doing nothing. I'm about to just like crash into the guardrail. So I slam my brakes, go around them, and I lay on the horn for like 10 minutes. I'm just like didn't stop. And then I end up flying by them and I'm grilling them, passing them. And they're just like dead ahead, won't even look at me because they know they fucked up. I'm like, fuck you. It was some like old lady. Dude, I was so pissed.
Yeah.
I was ready to lose it. I'm like, all right, I got to calm down.
Driving sucks, dude.
Threw in a Zin,
Sucks.
brought the blood pressure down, and then it's just on my way. But I was like, what's going on?
A little Sidney Crosby. Set the nerves.
But, yeah, man, that's New England. No one knows how to drive around here. Bunch of assholes. I mean, you'd think being from the city, people would have figured it out by now, but I guess not. It's just same old shit.
License out of a cereal box.
Yeah, no kidding. Freaking Cracker Jack box. Where'd you get your license, bud? But yeah, that's it for sure. But other than that, with the terrible driving around here, I've just been working, grinding, waiting for the QC season to start back up, which is going to be soon, a couple weeks. Why don't we get into our episode today? We got a big one for all you beauties out there. We're going to start with a little hockey talk, do our Mass High School Hockey Roundup. Then we're going to do a fantasy draft of the best players under 25 years old and younger. And then finally, we'll finish up with our weekly gambling corner. You boys ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. So the Granite Grind will be back in action soon. Next week, the boys kick off the second half of their inaugural season. The Granite will host the Nichols College Bison on Saturday, January 21st. Puck drop will be at 7 p.m. The boys going to be ready to rock. It's been a while since the boys have hit the ice. They got pracky tonight, a couple weeks to get ready, and then right back at it, trying to make a push for the playoffs here in the second half. All right, let's talk a little NHL from the last week. We'll talk about the Boston Bruins. So since our last podcast, the Bruins swept their West Coast road trip, going 3-0 with wins over the LA Kings 5-2. Then they beat up on the San Jose Sharks 4-2, and then rinsed the Anaheim Ducks 7-1 the other night. I mean, the Bruins still amongst the top of the NHL standings, NHL best 32, 4-4. But I have a question for you boys. Are the Bees peaking too early in the season here?
Maybe. You never know. Like, there's been so many, like, just in history, like, we've have, like, these type of seasons, and we just get bounced, like, first, second round. I mean, we don't get the greatest draws, though. Like, we ran to the Lightning a lot, Canes, what have you. But that West Coast trip, like, Vinny was like, oh, yeah, you watching the Bees? And I'm like, dude, there's no reason to watch the West Coast trip. Like, they're going to shit on everyone. Dude, California stinks for NHL right now. Like, the Kings are pretty good. But, like, the Ducks suck. Sharks are terrible.
They
like,
puck line the Kings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The Kings are good, and they puck line them.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it does show, like, the Bruins are an absolute wagon. Like, during the regular season for now, like, it's just so tough. Like, President's Trophy, it has a curse on it, and it's tough to look past that because, like, I think it's only been eight President's Cup or President's Trophy winners have actually won the Stanley Cup in, like, the President's Trophy history.
Majority of those were probably back in the day.
Yeah,
too.
like the Canadians.
Montreal Canadians, like the Wings in the 90s or something.
I guess the last one was the Wings. I think it was 07.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to say they were the last ones, and that 94 Messier team when they beat did they beat the Canadiens? I can't remember, but Messier, like, called the game 7, like, and scored a hat trick.
No, that was the Canucks.
Oh, the Nucks.
Yeah, they beat the Nucks.
I knew it was some Canadian bum team, but like, they played San Jose, they played Anaheim, like that's the bottom of the barrel right there. Those are layup games. Well, I think the next couple games is going to be a real good test though for the Bees. Seattle tomorrow night, like, that's a sneaky team that it's like. I think that might be a tough matchup because they play heavy and they got skill. And that's how the Bees used to be until this year. We're like heavy defensive team, had some sneaky skill guys that could play both ways. And, like I think that would be a tough matchup depending on who's in net for Seattle because, Martin Jones has been having a good year.
Grubauer isn't bad either.
Yeah, but like the thing is, I don't know. Like that's a question mark for Seattle. But then they got Toronto. The Bees lost to Toronto last time they played 2-1, and who knows? Like the Bees, it seems like they have no kryptonite this year, but maybe Toronto could be that team they just can't beat.
Yeah, it'll be nice to get some revenge against them on Saturday. But when it comes to like peaking too early, obviously you want to be hot going into the playoffs, right? That's the ideal time to get hot at the right time. But you can't rack up enough wins early on in the season like this. And it's just, nice to see that they're just like building this cushion because if things do start to, go south, like God forbid any injuries happen, we've been pretty lucky with the injury luck so far. We lost to Brusque for about a month or so, but seems like they're still rolling on without him. But yeah, you can just never get too many wins because you never know what's going to happen come playoff time. But it's nice to see that they just continue this roll. They're beating up on the teams that they're supposed to, and even the teams that are some of the top tier teams in the league, they've been putting up good performances against them as well. So just really, I guess you just got to kind of enjoy it for what it is right now, and just hope that this success can continue. And Ullmark might lose another game in regulation at some point in the season.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It looks like it's not going to happen, but it will happen. He's only human, but Linus has been looking unbelievable this year. He's literally, like, no doubt the Vezina Trophy winner right now. Like, no doubt.
Yeah.
Like, there's not even a debate right now. He's unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. So, you got to look at the Canes, though, too. They're right on our backs. The second, the best record in the Eastern Conference, or probably even the league. And that's a team we'll probably see before, obviously, the Stanley Cup. And
we'll see them second round.
Yeah, they're no pushover, especially. They're only maybe 6 or 7 points behind us, and we've been playing really well. And I think that's pretty good for a team, not being the Bruins this year.
Yeah, absolutely. You just got to hope that this continues, and then, I'm sure we'll hit a bump in the road sooner or later. We haven't really seen it yet, but I'm sure it's bound to happen. But as long as they're getting hot for the playoffs, that's really all that matters. Because like you guys have said, we've been known to kind of lay a stinker in the playoffs in the past. And personally, I hate having the target on your back being the President's Trophy winners if we do end up, gain the rights to that title. But for now, things are good in Boston. There's really not much to complain about.
Yeah. They just need a trade, make a move. They're gonna make a move because they're a contender and obviously the best team in the league. So only the best teams that know they're gonna make a playoff run make a move for, I'd say, a defense, because that's if you're a contender and you're having a good year like the Bruins or any team, you have forwards. You're not gonna survive without having really dynamic forwards up front. You can never have enough defensemen.
Yeah, we need one more bruiser.
Yeah, you can't have a guy like Grizzly out there playing heavy minutes in the playoffs. It's just not going to happen.
Look at his playoff stats, dude. He's literally
same with Carlo too. Carlo,
15.
he can kick rocks down the street. I don't care.
Just to kind of keep guys from getting too complacent. Bring in another guy that's hey, light a fire under your ass, because if you're not playing, good hockey come playoff time, then you're gonna find your ass on the bench or up in the balcony eating some free food.
That sounds just like our boy Bruce Cassidy. I think they're getting away from that type of strategy, unfortunately.
Maybe, I could be wrong.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I think it's the right thing, but
it does sound like Bruce, though. It does sound like him.
Oh yeah. By the way, the other thing with I don't know if you're going to mention it with the All-Star teams, captains. The coaches.
Yep. I got that on our docket coming up.
Yeah, all right.
We got one more topic.
He has it covered. Don't worry.
Yeah, I got it covered, Snipsky. Appreciate you keeping tabs on me, though. But that's coming up on our docket. But before we get there, we just want to talk about the World Junior Hockey Championships that concluded last week. So we left off on our last podcast with the semifinals of the tournament, where Canada beat USA 6-2, where USA had two controversial goals called back in that one. But I guess nonetheless, Canada was the better team that night. In the other semifinals matchup, we saw the Czech Republic edge out Sweden 2-1 in overtime. And then in our gold medal game, we saw an electric tilt between Canada and Czech, where Canada got their revenge from a loss earlier in the tournament. Canada pulled off a 3-2 overtime win to take home the gold in back-to-back World Juniors now. Dylan Gunther scored the golden goal to secure the gold medal for Canada. United States end up settling for bronze in a wild game where they beat Sweden 8-7 in overtime to take home the bronze medal. What was your boys' final thoughts on the tournament?
USA winning that bronze was probably one of the worst defensive games I've ever seen in my entire life. The goalies definitely weren't sharp. Pulled the goalie. I switched goalies to Umberko. I guess Umberko was the guy before, the last World Junior. For some reason, he got beat out. Was it the kid McGuire? Was that his name? The starter for US? I forget his name.
I'm blanking on his name.
It started with an M. But nonetheless, the kid Umberko came in, let up a quick one, but he was pretty lights out the rest of the time. Again, bad defensive just game overall, but it was a good shootout to watch, I guess. If you like goals like that, so. But it was as a USA fan, it was tough. It was definitely tough to watch because they blew 4 leads.
Yeah,
there's 4 leads they blew.
One with less than a minute left too. So the goalie pulled, knotted it up.
It was tough, definitely tough to watch. And then Czech, I picked Czech to win. Czech, please, but
I was waiting to tweet that.
Yeah,
I wanted Czech, please.
Yeah, I wanted that so bad, dude. But. I mean, Canada kind of got comfortable at the end. Yeah, they got 2 goals, 2 nice goals too. But they kind of got comfortable at the end. You can tell there was kind of lethargic out there. And then Czech just caught him sleeping, banged 2 in a row within a minute, OT. And then Czech, you can just tell Czech was I think they're a younger team that weren't really that experienced. And then Canada just took advantage of a little bit of a hiccup in the neutral zone, and then went the other way, 2-on-1. See ya.
Yeah, Czech. I like the way Czech plays. They play stout defense and they wait for you to make a mistake and they just pounce all over you. And they make most of their opportunities too. They don't take a bunch of shots. They capitalize. I like that Canada game when they were going into a hornet's nest. The games in Canada, they beat Canada earlier in the tournament. Canada wanted Czech again. And just right when I saw Gunther score that goal, or even goals before that, I was just saw the place erupt. I was just yeah, this is all Canada, especially with the X factor Bedard, who is the youngest guy on the team. But you see guys like Gunther who are already in the league, and you see Wright out there, and they're both really good players, but. I think this kid Bedard's just gonna be way better than all those guys on that team. He's just special. You can really just tell the way he plays, the way he skates, the way he shoots, his release is nuts. It was a good win. You just hate to see the U.S. get stolen 2 goals because the game's in Canada.
Hometown refs.
You know what I mean? There was 1 goal. Yeah, okay. I could see it's such a stingy rule. Oh yeah, if your skate's an inch in the crease, oh yeah, wave it off. No goal. It's what do you what's that rule what is it doing? What is the purpose of the rule? Is it to protect the goalie? It's yeah, well, protect the goalie if he gets ran over, if he actually gets interfered with. I don't like the rule. It's not very transparent.
Yeah, the only way they should call a goalie interference if you just murder the goalie. If you just go and knock him right off his skates. I think that's the only way you should call goalie interference.
Yeah, I thought the first one was a little sketchy. I mean, I don't think the goalie was saving that no matter what. He was parked in front of him, turned around, just wrapped it in. And the goalie was already down on all fours. There's no way he would have saved it. The second one, I could see, it was kind of under the goal. He kind of dug at it and end up in the back of the net. I could see that one going either way. But yeah, just the one gripe about this tournament is I feel like this tournament is always in Canada for whatever reason.
Dude, it's always in Canada.
It's been in the U.S. You know what I mean?
It's in Buffalo randomly. Randomly it'll be in Buffalo, and then for the next 10 years it'll be in Halifax. Calgary, Toronto.
Yeah, they switch each province. So we were in Nova Scotia or whatever, Ottawa this year. or whatever what are they, Nova Scotia or something?
Yeah, it was Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Oh, it's gonna be in Quebec or whatever, Montreal, and then
Toronto.
they'll like switch. Yeah, Vancouver. They'll just like act like it's so different, like from where they were. Like that, but I think it has been over in Europe. I think it's gone to Sweden and probably like. But not as much as Canada. Yeah. Canada's a hotbed. Like they know they can get they can sell that rink out in 2 minutes because they're crazy Canadians, and they care more about junior hockey. They know more about these junior hockey kids than they know about their NHL team.
Right.
Like
no kidding.
They literally watch they're televised on TV in Canada. Like this junior hockey like we're watching the Bruins. Like they have they have them on. Like
they have
whoever.
the Regina Pats on.
Yeah, Regina Pats. Like you can
you're drinking some Molson's while I'm playing pool. Look up, you see Connor Bedard scoring 7 goals for the Regina Pats one night.
Yeah, you got someone's sister who's a Rocket Fire smoke show wearing a Connor Bedard Regina Pats jersey. The kid doesn't even have a hair on his pec.
Yeah, and she's jamming herself to him.
Yeah, hide your sisters when he's around.
Jesus.
That's for sure. But yeah, I mean, I guess Canada's the hub of hockey for a reason, but not it wouldn't be just as popular in the United States or out in Europe, but whatever. I rest my case there. Otherwise, I thought it was a great tournament. A lot of close competitive games, and a lot of young studs out there proved their potential on the national stage, so it was nice to see. To no surprise, Connor Bedard took home the tournament MVP, becoming the youngest player in tournament history to win that award. Some other standout players were Czech defenseman David Jiricek, U.S. forward Logan Cooley, and the Czech goaltender Tomas Sukanek. He was a stud, and he kept Czech in that game against Canada. I thought Canada could have went up 4-0 early, but the Czech goalie really stood on his head. All those guys were standouts amongst many others, and those guys specifically were named Tournament All-Stars, and I don't think that's a shock to anyone. Yeah,
no, I agree, dude. The Czech goalie looks really good, real good. He stopped a couple breakaways. I think it was 2 or 3 breakaways he stopped. He made some big saves. Definitely kept Czech in that game.
Yeah, he took a heavy hit too, and I thought his leg was all done. He was down for a bit, and then kind of just skated it off, and then I think immediately after breakaway, and he made a 6 save. I'm like, all right, I guess his leg's good then.
Yeah. There was a couple of scouts in the stands watching that game too. I forget which scout it was, but they were like, "Oh yeah, they're in the market for a goalie," and I'm like, "Oh, I guess you guys found your goalie already." Because I looked it up, the kid wasn't even drafted yet.
Yeah, so his draft stock just went through the roof after that time.
He's definitely a first round pick now. You know what I mean? After that shit.
That's why they do this tournament, for reasons like that, for these young kids to display their talents on a national stage and make a name for themselves, and a lot of those young kids did over the course of this tournament. All right, let's move on and let's talk about the NHL All-Star rosters that were announced this past week. The league included 1 player from each team, and a total of 12 players will be added to these rosters at a later date that will be determined by online fan voting. But the current rosters include, from the Atlantic Division, you got Nikita Kucherov, Dylan Larkin, Mitch Marner, Nick Suzuki, Tage Thompson, Brady Tkachuk, Matthew Tkachuk, and Linus Ullmark. The coach for the Atlantic Division will be none other than the Bruins coach, Jim Montgomery.
Monty.
In the Metropolitan Division, you got Sidney Crosby, Johnny Gaudreau, Kevin Hayes, Jack Hughes, Brock Nelson, Alex Ovechkin, Andrei Svechnikov, and Igor Shesterkin. Their bench boss will be coach Rod Brindamore, Rod the Bod. Out in the Western Conference, in the Central Division, their roster currently is Kirill Kaprizov, Clayton Keller, Jason Robertson, Vladimir Tarasenko, Seth Jones, Cale Makar, Josh Morrissey, and UC Saros in net. They'll be coached by Bob's boy, Pete DeBoer.
Jesus.
Pete the Whore.
And then lastly, in the Pacific Division, you got Matty Beniers, Kevin Fiala, Nazem Kadri, Connor McDavid, Elias Pettersson, Troy Terry, Eric Carlson, and Logan Thompson. And their coach will be the former Bruins bench boss, Bruce Cassidy. We all know that players are going to be added to these rosters, voted in by the fans. But as of right now, boys, who do we think got snubbed from this All-Star game?
I mean, anyone on the Bruins so far, honestly, because Bergeron could be in it. Obviously, Pasta, obviously, Marchand, like Lindholm. Actually, no, yeah,
for
Lindholm.
He
Dude,
leads the league in plus minus.
Yeah,
Lindholm, plus
dude.
29.
the like one team per. One player per team is like kind of stupid. It's like, dude, just like vote. Like, let everyone vote, bro. Like,
it's the participation trophy shit.
Yeah.
Gotta include everyone. You know what I mean?
like Clayton Keller, dude. He plays for the Yotes, dude. Like, I get like he probably puts up like some points, like good amount of points. As Clayton Keller, he's good, but like, bro, like, put some talent out there. You know what I mean? Like Alex Tuck could be an All-Star. Not like you might not even sniff. He might not even get any votes. You know what I mean? So there's so many people you can put into this whole All-Star game, and it's just kind of annoying.
Wait, did Kyle Connor get in?
No. That he was on my snub list.
Yeah.
Kyle Connor.
Yeah,
They took
right.
Josh Morrissey from
Well, he's having a great year though.
He is.
Yeah, I mean, the Central Division must be low on some D-men, and if that's the case, they got McCarr and Seth Jones and
Seth Jones?
Yeah, Seth.
Come on.
Dude, he isn't doing
What's he
shit.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
Dude, that shows how bad the Blackhawks are.
or is that just how bad? Well, I mean, yeah, the Central Division just doesn't look that great. Like,
And dude, it's so annoying that they're doing the one player per team. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't like the fan votes, dude. Like, because it just doesn't work because it's all like favoritism.
Dude, there
and
should
stuff.
be a board.
Popularity contest.
Yeah, it's all,
Dude, the
like,
NHL,
stink,
the
that's all I'm gonna
NHLPA
get.
should pick it. There should be like the board of like players or whatever,
Yeah.
or former players. Yeah,
Players should have a say in it, I think. Absolutely.
Exactly. And then like former players too, like the people the people that help run it, like that are retired, they should sit down and be like in a room how me and Vinny are. Sit there and like have a conversation and be like, oh yeah, here's who, like whatever, here's a list of players, this is their stats, this is their team, this is how like are they valuable to their team, are they most valuable to their team? Who like, you know what I mean? It's about showmanship too. You want to put people out there, they gotta put some ass in the seats as well.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of just shows like what the All-Star game really means nowadays, and it really means nothing.
Yeah,
You know what I
Tortorella
mean?
said that. You see what Tortorella said?
Oh yeah. Oh, that was comedy. Do you guys have a? I'm sorry, go.
No, I don't have the quote on what he said.
Oh, he said he was like, "Oh, do you think somebody from his team?" They were talking about Travis Konechny. They were like, "Oh yeah, like
make it,
yeah." They're like, "Oh, Travis Konechny, you got snubbed. How's that? How do you feel about your player getting snubbed?" And he goes, "Oh, I don't give a shit about that. Don't even ask me that question."
Yeah,
he was like so disgusted.
Yeah, he said he like out of his whole entire career coaching, he's never watched the All-Star game, All-Star weekend once.
He said
he's never watched it.
Trash.
Yeah,
He said a torts answer.
Yeah, he goes, it's so trash and all this shit. He's like, I fucking hate it. He's like, everyone's out doing like fucking Michigans and shit. Pretty much, that's what he's saying. He's like, it's not real hockey.
I have another name that got snubbed big time, but like, who got in for him is like, I guess the same thing. He deserves it too. Is Sebastian Aho? I think is definitely should be an All-Star.
Yeah.
Obviously, Andrei Snetchnikov, beast, but
Yeah.
I think Aho should get in.
I mean, after seeing some of the names on the list, I'm like, really? Like, this guy's deserving an All-Star spot. But I mean, yeah, I guess, being named an All-Star, it doesn't really mean as much as it used to. I mean, it used to be like, you took pride in that. Like, yeah, I've had a hell of a season and I'm deserving of being an All-Star. And honestly, I don't even think the players really care anymore because either way, they're like, all right, I get some time off, then I get to go spend some time with my family, or if you're a single dude, you get to go rip it up for a weekend or whatever.
Yeah, right.
You got the weekend off from your job. But yeah, just like some guys that aren't in this, and I don't think all of these guys are going to get in. But like, how does David Pastrnak not get in? He's a Hart Trophy candidate.
Yeah.
Hampus Lindholm leading the league in plus minus. Leon Draisaitl second in the league in points. I mean, obviously McDavid's going to get the nod over him, but a lot of other guys too. That Bo Horvat, he's got nearly
Horvat's
30
having a
goals
sick
this
season.
year. We talked about Kyle Connor. Connor Hellebuck's been great in between the pipes for Winnipeg. Ilya Sorokin's really been a brick wall for the Islanders this year, and I'm sure there's many other guys that we haven't talked about either.
Like
but,
I see
this whole system's flawed.
Yeah, I mean, like guys I see on this Pacific Division roster, like Leon Draisaitl is definitely having a better year than a guy on the Anaheim Ducks like Troy Terry. Like, I'm sorry, like you said, like not everyone should get in, I mean, I get they probably do it for the marketability, like so. Oh yeah, I get to know you want like there's a guy on the Anaheim Ducks. He's really good, but they suck. You know what I mean? Like, and it's Troy Terry. Like,
Yeah.
we want you to know who he is. He's the best player in that team, and it's like, well, I mean, no one really cares if you suck. If your team, not you suck, but if your team sucks, like no one's gonna like watch your team play. But like a guy like Leon Draisaitl definitely should be in over Troy Terry, Kadri, probably Fiat, like everyone on that list.
Yeah. I mean, I'll have to look into this. I don't know if you boys know the answer to this, but I don't know if there's any incentives for being named an All-Star. Do you get any extra money? Because
I don't think so.
I'd be pretty pissed. I'd be pretty pissed if I was a guy who's having a pretty standout year and I don't get in because you have to have a guy from each team and then the fans don't vote you in and you lose out on a little extra money. I'd be pretty upset. You talk about what's fair. Now I sound like the rest of everyone. But, I mean, how's that fair? You know, if a guy like Troy Terry's getting in over a Draisaitl, those guys aren't even in the same tier, if you ask me.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't even know if they get incentives, but I mean, that's probably why no one really gives a shit if they don't get picked. If there was incentives, dude, people would be fucking pissed.
I think. All right, so I looked it up and it says signing bonuses are rewarded upon the signing of a player's contract and are paid to the player regardless of buyouts or performance. It sounds like they do, but
I know like NFL's big on that. Like if you hit a certain number of yards, certain number of catches, touchdowns, you get like extra money for hitting those milestones. But yeah, I'm not sure if that's the same in the NHL. We'll have to do a little homework.
Well, no, I know the NHL. Like if you hit like a certain amount of goals and points at some threshold, if you make the playoffs and if you win the Stanley Cup, obviously you get extra money. There's incentives for that.
Oh well, Patrice Bergeron has
team-based.
Patrice Bergeron had an incentive-based contract this year.
Yeah, he just needed to record a couple points.
He got $2.5 million up front, and then the other $2.5 was like playing 10 games.
Yeah, and get a couple points.
And then like it was like they were stupid. Like he was gonna get in like the first 10 games, whatever it was. The incentive.
Yeah. So I mean, they probably just do this so people like us will sit here and bitch about it and talk about it. Because I'll still watch it 100%.
No, I know what the NHL is doing. Trying to cover their bases. They're trying to market their guys, you know. They're trying to make it fair. They're trying to do the opposite of what they're doing. They're trying to like make it fair so no one's all butthurt, but like then we're over here still talking like butthurt about it.
Yeah, so that every market's gonna be invested because you know they have a guy in this. Like if you're on a team and you don't have anyone in the All-Star game, and you're probably not gonna tune in unless you're like unless you're a diehard hockey fan, you love the game. But yeah. I guess it is what it is. It's probably not changing anytime soon either, even if we keep talking about it. Let's talk about a couple quick hitters before we move on. The Seattle Kraken have now won 6 straight games, and local guy Matty Beniers has extended his goal streak to 5 consecutive games. High slot bump.
Is that good?
Yeah, something like. You know, I don't know. I just decided to make that nasty take like 2 days before he became an All-Star. Not a big deal.
Decent.
Yeah, right.
Philadelphia Flyers goalie Samuel Ersson got his first career shutout, beating the Buffalo Sabres 4-0 on Monday. Detroit Red Wings Tyler Bertuzzi has returned to action after a 16-game absence, and Nicholas Backstrom and Tom Wilson also made their season debuts for the Capitals on Sunday. Any of those you want to touch upon quickly before we move on?
So Tyler Bertuzzi, were all those games in Canada because he didn't get the he didn't get the jab, he didn't get jabbed. So he's just like, I play
the Fauci
the 16-game road trip in Canada. I can't play.
Yeah. They're like, hey, Bert, we got to put you on the IR for a bit. You're unvaxxed, and they won't let you play out in Canada.
And he's like, all right, let me just fire up the Xbox real quick.
Yeah.
Yo, let me put my teeth in.
All right, we're going to, for time's sake, because I know Bob's got a big practice coming up soon, we're going to skip the Mass High School Hockey Roundup for now. We'll come back to that in a little bit. But let's get into our fantasy draft. So we have a young stud fantasy draft today. So we're each going to draft a full lineup, 3 forwards, 2 defensemen, and a goaltender of the best players currently under the age of 25. All right. Do a quick little random generator here to determine our order. Give me 1 sec. We got Snipsky 1, Bob 2, and myself 3rd. So Snipsky, you are on the clock.
I'm gonna have to go with the consensus number 1, and it would definitely be Cale Makar.
Yeah, I saw that one coming from a mile away. If you didn't pick that, we would have had some problems.
Yeah, credibility ruined.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like you just overlook someone that just turned 25 on January 13th, and he's still eligible to get picked.
Oh,
Connor McDavid.
Oh, does that? Does he count?
Under
No,
25.
I thought we were doing 25 under.
Under 25.
Oh, you scumbag! Damn, I wanted the center. I thought that was my guy. All right. Now I got to regroup here. What we got?
Yeah, he is not on my list. Yeah, he's aged
Nope,
out.
not on the list.
How old's Elias
Aged out for
Pettersson?
these-
Is he 25?
No,
He's
you're
on
good.
the list.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
good. You're on the list.
I'll go with Elias Pettersson first pick then for me.
Pedersen kind of been buried in that shitstorm out in Vancouver, but yeah, still a very
for
good
sure.
player. I kind of was building my prospects earlier, very forward heavy. I saw that goaltending and defense was little on the lackluster side, so I'm gonna go ahead and take the best goalie I think on this market, Jake Ottinger.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm
that's a
gonna
good
go
pick.
with Audie. Jake Ottinger's my goalie, and I'm gonna come back with a defenseman here. Snipsky stole Makar from me, so I think I'm gonna have to take the next best guy I see here, and I'm gonna go with Adam Fox.
Okay.
I was just I
Nice.
was just looking at him too.
Foxy. So yeah, I like my start here. A little beefing up the back end with Ottinger and Foxy. All right, Bob, that's back over to you for your round 2.
All right, I'm gonna go with the center this time. Give me RoboCop.
Yeah. I knew he wasn't going to last very long in this one. The RoboCop. Snipsky, you got 2 in a row here. Big swing for you.
All right. All right. I was just checking up on him on Aho, but he's 25. I'm gonna go with Kirill the Thrill Kaprizov, and then let me see what else I got here. Let me see what goalies I have here. I need to grab a goalie.
The goalie market is not very good.
Yeah, I know. I saw someone earlier that I think.
I'll tell you who I saw because I already picked my goalie. But besides Ottinger, I only saw Spencer Knight,
Yeah.
Swayman, and Tarasov on the Blue Jackets. There were a couple of like Lukonen on Buffalo. I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing his name right, but yeah, there weren't many goalies under 25 in the league.
What about Ville Husso?
No, there's no way he's under 25.
Was he under 25?
I don't think so.
No, there's no way. He's been in the league for for kind of a while.
He's 27.
Yeah.
All right. I'll just go with I'm not gonna. Maybe I'll skip on the goalie.
Is there a time clock? Is there a is there a
should
clock
be.
here?
All right,
Like,
relax. All right. I was caught off guard. So I have my center. I need a wing. Give me Andrei Snechnikov.
Yeah, that's a good one. Sveshnikov. Snipsy's stacking up on the forwards early.
Yeah, I got my corner piece D.
All right, Bob, that's back to you next.
I'm gonna go with Moritz Seider. Mo Seider.
He was on my list for sure. Sider, all right, I'm on the clock. I got to start beefing up on forwards here. So I'm going to go. Damn, no Tage Thompson, huh? I'm going to go Jack Hughes.
That's a good pick.
I'll take Jack Hughes for my 3rd round pick here. I want to go with another forward, but I think I'm going to have a mean defensive pair. I'm going to pair Adam Fox with, I'll go Rasmus Dahlin. I'll go Dahlin. He's having a big year.
Yeah, he's been
got off to a
decent.
slow start to his career, but I'm going to go with Dahlin. Solidify the defense early. A couple puck moving guys. Bob, back over to you.
All right. So I know it's gonna be a little controversial for me because it's be two centers, but I know one of these guys will be able to play wing. I'm gonna go with
That's fine. Yeah, we can switch around the forwards.
Matty Beniers.
Yeah, that's a great pick.
So so my three forwards are what? Beniers, RoboCop, and Pedersen.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, you got your three forwards. You got Beniers, RoboCop, Pedersen,
And Sider.
and Sider on your back end.
Damn.
Snipsky, back to you for two.
Give me the Carolina Hurricanes goalie, Peter Kachekov.
Kachekov. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just
Forgot
looking at
about
Logan
him.
Thompson, and he's 25.
Yeah, Kochekov. That's a good one. He's been having a big year.
Yeah.
You got two back-to-back, Snipsky.
This should be easier for me. Now that I just got to pull something up. Actually, screw it. I'll just say, you know what? I'm going on a limb here. I'm gonna throw Connor Bedard on my line.
Ooh, I was debating it.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw
Honestly.
Connor Bedard out there. 17-year-old
He's
Connor
not
Bedard.
even in the NHL yet. He's fucking. That's fucking hilarious.
He's
Let's
that
do it.
good, though.
Let's
He's
do
that
it.
good. All right, Bob, over to you. You need one more D and a goalie.
Is Quinn Hughes still on the board?
Oh, yeah, he's still there.
I'll take him. Him and Mo Sider would be a nasty D pair.
Yeah, I was staring him down, too. Hughesy. I need two forwards to round off my squad here. I'm going to go slept on guy. He's already a captain at this young age. Nick Suzuki.
I was looking at him too. I was looking
I'm
at
gonna
him.
go Suzuki.
Mizuki?
And then to finish off my squad here, there's a couple on my end. I'm looking at Zegras, Brady Kachuk. You know what? I'm gonna go with another Canadian, Cole Caulfield.
Cole Caulfield.
Cole Caulfield. I need someone who can bury the puck, and I think Cole Caulfield's that guy. So give me Caulfield to round out my squad. Bob, last pick for you, goalie.
Dude, I don't even who even is available for a goalie right now.
I see like Spencer Knight and Swayman.
Oh, give me Sway, dude. Sway's the
Sway.
way. Give me him.
Sway Daddy.
Dude, I got a wagon. I got a wagon.
The way. Snipsky, last one for you. I think you need one more D. Is that
Yeah, I need a
correct?
D, man. So what I'm seeing here,
Set the clock.
what I'm seeing here, there's not a lot of D men left. I don't think.
I'm seeing Heiskanen still on the board, Sergachev, Noah Dobson, Owen Power. I'm gonna miss some.
I'll take Miro Heiskanen.
Yeah, he's a solid.
He's a good puck moving guy.
Yeah, him and Makai be nasty.
Who's playing defense though?
Heiskanen. They're both playing defense. They're both fast enough.
Yeah, but they're both like offensive mind. That's what I'm getting at.
It doesn't matter. Makai's getting back either way.
So to highlight our squads, Bob's got Elias Pettersson, Jason Robertson, Matty Beniers as his forwards, and then he's got Quinn Hughes, Mo Sider on the back end with Swayman between the pipes. Snipsky's got Kale McCarr, Kaprizov, Sveshnikov, Kochekov. Dude, how many Russians?
Yeah. Yo, right,
Snipsky.
that's why my team's gonna win.
Vladimir Snipsky over here.
And then he mixed in Bedard and Heiskanen.
Kid's not even in the fucking NHL, dude.
Yeah.
All right, well, if that's gonna be, all right.
No, it's fine. I'm just
All
saying.
right,
I'm just
all right.
saying. Like,
I was considering it, so I'll allow it. And then I had Jake Ottinger, Adam Fox, Jack Hughes, Rasmus Dahlin, Nick Suzuki, and Cole Caulfield. Couple guys I had in my prospect pool here that didn't end up getting picked. Nico Heischer,
Yep.
Brady Kachuk, Trevor Zegras. I like Zegras.
he's not a
but
team guy though.
Too flashy for me.
Yeah.
Clayton Keller, Timmy Stutzel, Kyrou, Jesper Bratt, Rob Thomas,
Right.
Mason McTavish. There was still some good guys out there. There's a lot of loaded young talent in the league.
Wait,
Oh,
did
yeah.
you say
Yeah,
Lucas Raymond?
Yeah.
Oh,
I did not. No,
Oh.
I didn't say Raymond.
Well, yeah. I saw Raymond
He's
too.
been quiet this year.
I was either gonna pick. I was between him and Beniers, and I was like, Beniers is having a way better year, so I just went with him.
Oh, I have a funny. I was hearing on the radio Trent Freddy today, and he was they were talking to ask him about Zegras. You know, Zegras won after he scored against us, like they almost fought, or like Marshy almost fought him. I guess they asked him about it, and then they were like, I guess Zegras scored on the 1T and told him to suck my D, and then they all went after him. Comedy,
and then we
right?
pumped 7.
Yeah, we were up 4-1. I saw 3-1.
Don't poke the bear. Don't poke the bear.
Can't. All right. So there's our fantasy draft. Players under the age of 25. We'll throw something up on social media for you guys to vote who's got the best squad. All right. We'll trace our steps back here to our Mass High School Hockey Roundup for the past week, starting with Division I. The preseason number 1 overall St. John's Prep, who fell out of the top spot last week, has regained their top spot in the Division I top 10 thanks to Saturday's 6-3 win over Catholic Memorial, who had previously taken over the top spot, so they took it right back only after a week's time. St. John's Prep is looking ahead to some league games with St. John's Shrewsbury on Wednesday and then Malden Catholic on Sunday. Catholic Memorial dropped down to number 2, like I was just talking about, after their first loss of the season. The Knights did follow that up and blank Xaverian this week and will face rival BC High on Wednesday night and then St. John's Shrewsbury on Sunday. Number 3, Reading has crept up in the standings and it remains unbeaten after knocking off league foes Winchester and Woburn. The Rockets have a big tilt on Wednesday, traveling to battle number 8, Belmont. Number 7, Wellesley. Sorry, not Wellesley. Number 9, BC High dropped a little bit in the standings in this competitive Division I group with their loss to Belmont. The Eagles did take out their frustrations on Sunday with a 9-1 rout of Malden Catholic, and they have that big battle with CM on Wednesday. Snipsky, what's your thoughts on the D1 action from last week?
Man, CM, I'm liking what I'm hearing about CM back. I like it, and they handled that loss like a champ. And came back and blanked. Who'd you say they blanked?
Xaverian,
and then they got the old rivalry game against the Eagles. That'll be a bath.
Oh yeah, I would love to be at that game because you know the fan section's gonna be going at it, chirping back and forth. That's gonna be an absolute tilt.
Don't they sometimes play it like at the Conti Forum for those games? Or am I
think so. I know I've gone and seen them at UMass Boston.
Yeah.
Conti Forum. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they play because what's their home rink? UMass Boston, right? BC High.
I think so. And then CM's playing in at the Bruins practice facility.
No, really?
Yeah. Yeah, that's where they host their home games.
That's ridiculous.
So either way, either of those places is going to be absolutely slam-packed for that.
Talk about tuition costs. What's that cost? Jeez. Yeah. Well, yeah, it costs as much as, we get to play at Warrior Ice Arena and meet a couple Bruins players while we're at
it. Yeah, talk about first-class treatment there.
Yeah, roll up the red carpet.
To me, it still seems like St. John's Prep is that top dog. I mean, they fell out of number 1 for a week and then took that spot right back. You know they had a chip on their shoulder when they saw themselves drop down to number 2. So they made a statement and took down CM. The Division I is stacked. A lot of good talent in Division I. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But yeah, a lot of the familiar teams from when we were in high school are, back on the map. CM, BC. I know the Prep's been really good the past few years. A couple of these other public schools, Reading and Wellesley, also will be in the mix. Let's move on to D2, where number 1 Tewksbury remains at the top of the Hockey Night in Boston polls for Division II, despite losing its only game of the week to Division I foe Lincoln Sudbury. They lost that game 2-1 in overtime. The Redmen look to get back in the win column this week with 2 games against D1 Billerica and Acton Boxborough. Canton stayed put at number 2 this week. They split the week. They downed Foxborough 7-0 and lost their first game of the season 2-0 to a strong Franklin team. They have Oliver Ames and King Philip up this week. Number 3, Silver Lake was back in action, and they continue to roll. They had another good week. They tied Hanover in a 1-1 battle and then rallied to take down Plymouth North 5-4 in overtime. Snipsky, what do you think about the D2 games from this past week?
Lakers, the Lake Show.
The Lake Show, baby. We've been talking about them all year. We're not going to stop.
Yeah,
7-1-1 on the season. Tied Hanover, which we'll talk about Hanover a little in a bit, how they were kind of struggling and had to really kind of nut up or shut up this past week. But I think Silver Lake will definitely take a 1-1 tie to a solid Hanover team, a Patriot League rival, and showed some resiliency, battling back, being down in that game against Plymouth North, coming back to win in overtime. So, yeah, I just like everything about this Silver Lake team this year. To me, it seems like they're shaping up to be a team of destiny because I don't think anyone was really talking about the Lakers coming into the season besides us.
We kicked the can down the road against them when we were in high school.
I know it, yeah. Yeah, that's when you'd circle on the calendar, be like, all right, that's point night.
Yeah, point night.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But not sure who's their coach now. We'll have to look into that. But it definitely seems like he's turned the program around.
Yeah, I mean, you got like 3 different towns. Like that's what Silver Lake is. Like go to all one school. So you would think they would have enough talent to put a decent squad together.
Right. Yeah, and then Canton, no surprise, beat up Foxborough 7-0. Guess it was a little surprising to see Canton lose a regular season game because it doesn't happen too often. But when it comes at the hands of Franklin, that doesn't surprise me one bit because we know a little thing or two about Franklin and what it's like matching up against them. It's never easy.
Don't use the Lord's name in vain.
Yeah.
Franklin. Cringeworthy thoughts and memories come to my mind.
Right. And Franklin, I got to give them credit. Probably the best color scheme in Mass high school hockey.
They have the Maine Black Bears type of thing going, right?
Yeah, the little baby blue navy, kind of like the high slot jersey behind me.
Yeah, when we played them, they had the all whites. Like they had like the white with the baby blue stripe and the navy stripe, and then they look like the Maine Black Bears. Honestly, never heard one peep about Franklin till before that game, whether they were good or not. In my senior year. Then they pumped us. I'm like, what's going on with what's going on?
Yeah, Gibbon must have not done his scout report well.
Yeah, they go right to the state title. I'm like, wow, all right.
Moving on to some D3 action here. Number 3 Scituate defeated Whitman-Hanson 5-3 and tied their rival Hanover 3-3 to hold firm at number 3 in the Hockey Night in Boston standings. They have Plymouth South on Wednesday and Plymouth North on Saturday on the docket for them this week. Number 5 Pembroke split its games this week. They had a 7-0 loss to Division II foe Duxbury and had a 4-3 last-second win against Quincy High. The Pembroke Titans will face North Quincy on Wednesday and then Whitman-Hanson on Saturday. Hanover currently at number 6, skated to a pair of ties this week, 1-1 with Silver Lake, 3-3 with Scituate. The Hawks are scheduled to face Quincy on Wednesday and then Division I heavy Marshfield on Saturday. So not getting much easier for the Hanover Hawks.
Yeah, it sounds like they really loaded the schedule this year. Expecting big things. I mean, they're always good, but hitting a tough stretch.
I mean, yeah, you definitely can consider it a tough stretch. 2-3-2 is definitely not something you're used to seeing next to Hanover's name, but you can't count this team out. There's a lot of hockey left here. They're about 7 games in, so roughly 13 games left in the season before the state tournament. I think no matter where Hanover is in the tournament, like wherever they're ranked, I think you can still consider them a favorite to win it just because of their past history. And them playing like these tough teams is only going to help prepare them come playoff time. When you're playing, every game close and you got to just kind of grind it out. This is only going to help them out in the long run.
Yeah, because everything locks down in the playoffs. Like everything just gets stingy. So like it's good that they're facing adversity. I mean, they're going to get in. It's just like everyone takes a different road in there, and probably the tough road's probably usually the best road to take.
Right, yeah, watch. Everyone's going to write off Hanover going in, be like, this isn't the same Hanover we've seen in the past. They don't have what it takes. And then next thing you know, they're on their way to the Garden to play in a state championship.
They'll get a shit seed, no respect, and then they'll pump a couple teams, and then they'll start rolling. Right,
because, if you load up your schedule in the regular season with a bunch of cupcakes and you pump them 10-0.
Means nothing.
It's nice for the stats. It's nice padding the stats, but Yeah, it means nothing. It puts you at a disadvantage come playoff time when you face a tough opponent and you're not used to playing in those close games. Definitely doesn't help you out. But yeah, Hanover's going to be in the mix. I guarantee it. We'll come back to this and we'll clip it when Hanover's playing in the Garden. But good to see also these other South Shore teams, Situate and Pembroke. Both in the top 5 in Division III. I know Pembroke used to be real good when I think like you were, junior, senior, and then when it came my time, they weren't as good anymore. But yeah, Pembroke looks like they're back too.
Yeah, Pembroke definitely tough. Tough game against Duxbury. 7-0.
Yeah,
I mean Duxbury. They call it
one.
Deluxeberry for a reason.
Yeah, right.
They just I don't know. They put steroids in the water or something over there. Like same with Canton. I'm watching you guys.
Yeah.
We get you guys. Rat you guys out one day. But yeah, I mean, it's just like we used to play against Duxbury in the Patriot. They used to have the Patriot League. It was like my freshman year. We played Duxbury. It was just like, what are you guys doing here? Get out of here. Go to D1. We don't want to see you anymore. Then
it's like Georgia and Alabama playing like UMass. You're like, what's going on?
Yeah, Canton and Duxbury should be in the same. Well, they are the same division, right? Or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both D2. Yep.
Well, didn't Duxbury go up? I think Duxbury went up when I was in high school, and they must have came back down.
Yeah, I thought Duxbury was D1, but yeah.
Yeah, I think they did come back.
I think when they kind of shook up the divisions here, I think they ended up taking a step down, which I don't blame them. It's tough competing in that Division One. Definitely loaded with some top teams.
Oh yeah.
We'll round it off here with Division 4, where Norwell stays in the number 1 spot. The Clippers played just one game this past week, beating Latin Academy 2-0. They have a couple division games against Middleborough and Rockland on the docket for them this week. Number 2, Sandwich maintains in the number 2 spot despite losing its only game of the week to Nauset 2-1. The Blue Knights have 2 big games this week with Falmouth and number 8 Grafton. And then a new team that made their way into the top 10, and a team I think people should be on the lookout for is Martha's Vineyard. They're now 5-3, winners of 5 straight games after losing their first 3. The Vineyarders have been on a roll as of late, most recently beating Nantucket 3-2 in overtime, and they're going to host Mashpee/Monomoy this upcoming Wednesday.
They must have went crazy when they beat Nantucket.
Yeah, dude, those games get rowdy. On island, the island teams battling it out.
Yeah,
they're on their island time, over in the Vineyard in Nantucket. But this time of year, it's all hockey. I mean, I don't think there's really anyone else living on the island besides the kids who are in high school there.
Yeah, it's a ghost town. I know how the Nantucket people feel about the Martha's Vineyard people, so I'm glad that Martha's Vineyard got the win and send those rich kids home with a frown on their faces, probably kicking and screaming on the way home, telling their mom to get their Voss water for them.
Right.
I spilled something on my Louis Vuitton sweater. Take me home. I need a new one.
There was a lot of bragging rights in that game between the Vineyard and Nantucket. So I think that they meet one more time before the season ends.
The Nantucket, is their logo the Millionaires too? The Nantucket Millionaires.
All right, there's our Mass High School hockey roundup from this past week. We'll keep you updated on the premier action across the state in next week's episode. All right, moving on to our final segment of the night. We have our weekly gambling corner. I think Bob left on purpose for this one because after last week, we have some movement in the standings for the first time in a while. So currently, I remain in first place at 30-28-1. I was 4-1 last week, up to 52% on the year. Snipsky has climbed his way out of the basement officially. Moved into second place at 24-31, 44% after a 3-2 week. And Bob now finds himself in the danger zone, last place in our Evander Kane standings at 23-31, hitting at 43%. we're not at the halfway point just yet, but can't feel good to be Bob moving down in the standings here.
Yeah, I was surprised. I actually got sandbagged by you, Coco. You were like, oh yeah, he put the wrong stats up on our Instagram, the wrong record. And then he was one off. I had one more win than Bob. Were we tied, me and Bob, or was it?
Bob had a game on you.
Oh, he had just one more
coming
pick
into the
more,
week.
right?
Yeah, because he had one more pick. So you guys actually had the same number of wins.
Yeah.
You just had one more loss. And then I had a little miscount. And when I was redoing it today, updating the standings on my little document here, I'm like, well, hold on a second. I snubbed Snipsky here. He's actually in second place. I miscounted a big win for Snipsky, and I knew he was going to be pumped to hear that. I thought Bob was going to be a little upset and call some little tomfoolery, a little collusion or something going on.
He would. That sounds like Bob.
Yeah, Bob knows. You have a losing week, and a couple of the other boys do well. That's what happens. All right, so Bob, for those of you guys just tuning in, Bob had to go, so we will get his picks before these games take place. We're going to start with Thursday, January 12th, where we have the Toronto Maple Leafs facing off against the Detroit Red Wings. You'll be able to watch this game over on ESPN. Funny thing is, we actually picked the same game last week. It was in Toronto. It was Detroit versus Toronto, but it's another nationally televised game. They love these two games, these two teams in the spotlight. So Leafs, Wings, Snipsky, what are you thinking here?
Leafs are like, I just feel like they're a solid all-around team. Their goaltending it's been surprisingly like overachieving, I think. I like Samsonov, but also
Murray and Samsonov. No one expected this from them.
They have like pretty much the same stats. It's kind of crazy. I think it just shows like how much better the Leafs like forwards like defense has gotten, and it's tough to go against the Maple Leafs, but I'm gonna go with the Leafs. I can't go against them in this spot, like just because of how good they are.
I hear you. You picked them last week too, and it was a winner for you. So I don't blame you with that one. I'm actually going to do a repeat pick too. I had the Red Wings last week. I'm going to go right back to the well here. I'm going to give them one more shot here at home, a little redemption. Toronto has been playing very well, second in the Atlantic Division right now behind Boston. But Matthews was out of the lineup for Toronto tonight. I'm not sure the status on that injury, if it's long-term, if it's day-to-day. Potentially he could be out for this one. Detroit was kind of on a skid, but they picked up a big win the other night. Blanking on who they beat. Winnipeg, actually. They beat them like 7-4 or 7-5. It was a shootout. So we were all pretty big on Detroit before the season. Definitely haven't lived up to expectations, but I think we're going to kind of see Detroit get hot here for a stretch and, make a push at the playoffs because I just think they're too talented not to. So it's a big spot for them to make some movement in the standings. So I'm going to give them another chance for a little redemption, and I'm going to go with the Red Wings here.
Yeah, Toronto's playing on national television tonight, too. They're on TNT.
On TNT tonight, ESPN on Thursday. So, it's not easy when you're playing the national televised games, too. I mean, I know they're professionals, but it's got to put a little additional pressure on you. I think
the world's watching.
Yeah. Moving on to Friday, January 13th, we got the Winnipeg Jets taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins. This game will be on NHL Network. I'll kick us off here. This one's tough for me because I've liked both these teams all year. I've been big on Winnipeg. In the gambling world, I've been riding the Jets, and I honestly don't think they've let me down this year. Pittsburgh has been pretty good to me. They kind of hit a stretch where they caught a couple L's in a row. I think they're back, though. They had a big come-from-behind win against Vancouver last night. They were down 3-0 in the first. Do you see that? And then they stormed back, tied at 3-3, end up winning that one like 6-5 or something. I don't know. I'm torn here. I'm going to just kind of hope and pray for an over. Hellebuck's been really good. But he got shelled against Detroit the other night. It was kind of surprising. He might bounce back and have a shutty, or they might give him a night off. Maybe he's kind of worn down a little bit. So I'm going to take a chance on the over in this game between Winnipeg and Pittsburgh. Snipsky, what are you thinking?
I'm a Penguins guy, but I think it's just gonna be a tough game for the Penguins to win, especially with Jari out. I like your over pick. You said you took the over, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you said Hellebuyck got shelled the other night. He should probably be in for this game. I'm gonna take the Jets.
Jets, yeah. I've liked the Jets. If I had to choose, I'd probably go Jets here. But yeah, Pittsburgh at home can be pretty good. I'm gonna stay away from the side and just kind of hope for goals. All right, let's move on to Saturday where we got ourselves a little double dip. We're going to start with a little Saturday matinee. It's the Calgary Flames heading down south to take on the Dallas Stars. This one will be on NHL Network. Flames, Stars. Snipsky, why don't you start us off here? What do you think in this one?
It's a good matchup. First matchup for the teams this year. Love the Dallas Stars, how they're playing. The Flames have lost 2 tough games in overtime back-to-back to Chicago, that's a bad loss, I'd say.
A bad one. They need points, too.
Yeah, St. Louis, St. Louis good team, but they're also like 4th in the division going up against Dallas, so that's not great. I'm going to stick with the Stars here, though. Love how they've been playing. Grinded out the last game against the Islanders, 2-1 shootout. Love that win. I just think the Stars are good at home. Flames have been kind of on the road, so.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on this one. Stars have been shining. They've been one of the better teams in the NHL, and I think they've surprised a lot of people. I like the Stars going into the year. Did I expect them to be as good as they are? No. But I'm going to keep riding them. And I think I'm officially ready to say it that I am out on the Calgary Flames. Yeah. I'm out on them. I've been one of the biggest Flame supporters between last year's podcast and this year. They're just not who I thought they were. They look so good on paper. They got off to that real hot start at the beginning of the year, and they've just stunk. They flat out disappointed, and I'm out. I hate to say it, but I'm officially out on the Flames.
Yeah, their goaltending's really let them down this year, I think.
I think that's one of the main issues. Markstrom, not the guy he was last year. Just it would happen in the playoffs against Edmonton.
Yeah, right.
I think it's like all mental. And I think he just has like the yips or something, just hasn't gotten over it because I don't know what happened to Jacob Markstrom. He was one of the best goalies in the league. I think he was almost positive he was a Vezina finalist last year. And he's just gone to shit. It's really as simple as that. Now that I'm saying this, watch, the Flames going to get hot towards the end of the season and go on an absolute run in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, also, I don't think Markstrom's getting that goal support that he was last year. Like, you have Gaudreau, like, you have Tkachuk. Right. Like, you're scoring a ton of goals, so it's probably taking a lot of pressure off him. Like you said, he's a mental midget. So he's probably like, oh, sweet, we're going to score a lot. We're going to be able to keep up goal-wise. I'm not going to have to make a bunch of saves on my head. Right. Like, yeah, he literally... he lost it. It's like me trying to get out of the tee box. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
right. Yeah, just all mental.
Yeah, he's just like, you see him fall apart in the playoffs. It was him against Mike Smith, and he lost to Mike Smith. He was worse than Mike Smith.
So bad, dude. So bad.
That fossil. And he was just as bad with the mental midget stuff of him, too.
I know. Like, yeah, Mike Smith was more emotional about it. Like, he'd show you.
Yeah.
But Markstrom was kind of just more like, mellow about it, I guess. But he's got something going on.
Remember that good Branson shot from, like, he, like, flipped it and like from the other blue line, and Mike Smith, like, let it right by him.
He just botched it. Yeah. But, yeah, Flames, man, I don't know what's going on. It's not been good for them. Kind of like you said, like last year they could kind of score at will. They had a lot more firepower. This year they're more just lackluster in almost every department, it seems like. And
they don't have like a true number one guy. They just have like a couple guys, like Kadri, He's good, but and
Yeah,
Elias and
still been
Lindholm, they're
struggling.
like second tier guys. You don't really have number one guys.
I agree. Yeah. So I'm moving on from the Flames. I'm gonna hop on a new bandwagon soon. For a double dip, we're gonna go to Saturday night. This game's also on NHL Network. It's the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Boston Bruins. We were kind of just talking about it. It's a big tilt on Saturday night. Leafs, Bruins. I'll start this one off here. You know, I definitely can't go against the Bees. I'll tell you that. But looking at the last game and how that game looked, very close matchup, gritty game. I kind of see a similar trend here. If Allmark's in net, I love it even more. Toronto's goalies have both been pretty solid as well, so I'm going to go with the under in this one. I'm going to take an under. Don't like doing it, but just what the trends have been between these teams, I like an under here. What about you, Snips?
The thing I have with this is, so who plays in net tomorrow night for the Bees? Do they put Swayman in because they know they're going to play Allmark on Saturday, or are they going to play? Are they going to play?
I would have to assume that.
Yeah, so Swayman's probably going to go against the Kraken because there's no way the Bees are going to lose this game against the Maple Leafs because they're keeping receipts on that, and it's the biggest game I think they play since the last time they played the Leafs because it's such a big rivalry, and we're going to win this game. There's no puck line in this future, I don't think, unless they score an empty net. I'm definitely hammering Bees. And I would double probably down on your under, but I'm not gonna. I'm just agreeing with you.
Bees in a close one, maybe 3-2, 3-1. It says Allmark is expected for tomorrow, but I don't know.
Unless he just rides them because that's what Montgomery's been doing, really. But you can lose that game to the Kraken, I think, if you're gonna throw Swayman in if you're really all in for that. It might be a look ahead that one tomorrow.
It could, yeah, no, it very well could be. Kraken red hot right now, not a team you want to take lightly. So, let's hope it's not, but it definitely well could be. All right, last game of the week. It's on Sunday, January 15th. It's the Arizona Coyotes taking on the Winnipeg Jets on NHL Network. Snipsky, let's hear your thoughts on this one. Yotes Jets.
Oof. So they played a close one the first time they played, like around around Halloween. It was 3-2 Jets. Yotes were at home. They played in that tin can in Arizona mullet.
Mullet.
It's just it's tough because the Yotes could be a pesky team coming in. They've lost they've lost a lot of games. It's hard to go with the Yotes here because they just lost to the Blackhawks. It was like the worst team in the league, and I mean, I'm just gonna go with an over here. I'm not picking. I'm going with an over.
I want to take the Jets in one, but it seems a little too easy. I was actually on the opposite.
You're gonna go with an under?
I'm gonna go with the under here because I've been trying to stay away from stats because the stats have been kind of doing me dirty. But currently, Winnipeg is 5th in the league in goals allowed, and they're actually even better than that when they're at home. Yotes are 28th in goals per game here. Jets 16-6 at home. Yotes 6-17 on the road.
Yeah.
I think the Jets are a lock, but I also think they're going to be like minus 200 or something. So I kind of want to stay away from that. So I'm going to take an under here, thinking the Jets win 4-0, 4-1, especially if Hellbuck's in net. I like it. But the Jets could very well put up 5 or 6, and then this one goes over. So I'm just banking on no goals really from the Yotes in that Winnipeg doesn't score too much in this one. All right, there you have it. There's our weekly gambling corner this week. We'll make sure Bob sends in his picks because he needs a big week. He needs a big week. After,
Bob's not going to turn any picks, so it's zeros, so nothing happens. Yeah. He's like, I'm just taking this week off. He'll win by winning percentage because he does less bets.
That rat. Now we'll make sure he gets those in so we can keep an accurate running of our Evander Kane standings here. Yeah, but there you have it. Bob is not here, unfortunately, to give us his fun fact of the week, unless you have one, Snipsky.
Oh, so like this, I actually have a follow up. I saw something.
Do you? All right, let's.
Yeah, so you know
We'll
that
take
guy
it.
who has like 100 kids
Oh,
or
yeah,
whatever?
yeah.
Like it's like a something 1,000 or like 500 grandkids or whatever.
Yeah.
Did we say like what happened after or whatever? He told them to go on birth control, right? Did we already do that?
No, I don't think we
Yeah,
mentioned
he
that.
told them that like his wives have to go on birth control now. I saw it.
I mean, why weren't they on birth control in the first place?
And you know why? You know why he said he can't have any? He's like, yeah, he told them to go on birth control because he doesn't make enough money anymore to support them, like all the kids now or whatever. Because he's making less and less money because of inflation.
Oh man,
You know he's
like,
a
I'm
farmer.
working 3 jobs. I can't pick up a fourth.
Yeah, he's a farmer too. Like that's all
is
he
he?
does. He has
Hey, at least
12
he's got
wives.
plenty of help.
He has 12 wives.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's a lot of Plan B.
How can he afford that?
Well, that's probably why. Yeah, I mean, they're all old. Like he has a bunch of grandkids, so he's probably not supporting like most of the kids now. But like he probably has a good amount of kids that are like under 18 that he has to actually support. Maybe.
Yeah, right. Hey, I guess the one positive about him having that farm is he's never short on workers because I'm sure once those kids can walk, they're out on the farm, pulling their own.
I mean, if he's growing the food to feed them, was he like? What's he selling the food or the crops now? It's like he has to raise
Probably
the prices.
can't even sell it because he's got to provide for his family.
Yeah,
he's growing it to feed his own family. He's not making any money off of it.
He should just invest.
He's actually losing money.
Yeah, I mean, buying condoms is too expensive. Or he's just against the condom game.
Hey, you come to a point in your life where you got to make the tough decisions, and that's one of them.
What's more expensive, condoms or Plan B? Might have to hash that one out with his accountant.
Right? Yeah, he's got to sit down and crunch the numbers.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what?
Yeah,
I can't afford the condoms.
Yeah, he's just like, they're like, wait, is that a choice or is that just like it actually says here you'll save money. He's like, yeah, actually, no, I'm not doing the condom thing. No.
Hey, if he's got a farm, he can make his own sheepskin.
Yeah, latex, grow it out of the ground, learn how to do that, become a scientist.
But I think that's our first ever follow up on one of Bob's fun facts. So that's just what happens when Bob's not here. We just discover new ways to keep you guys entertained. So
yeah,
I think Bob might be off the show after this.
Yeah,
we don't need him.
I bumped into that fact actually today. I was just like, oh man, there's more about this guy. Yeah, see this. I just don't know how he's living still after doing all that, having all that fun, all that humping.
Guy must have been gray very, very soon after probably his 7th kid.
Yeah, I don't know how you pee stays on your body after all that sex that you've had. I'm jealous because he's probably had more sex than anyone.
He should write a book and give some tips.
Oh yeah, he's
on
got
how to get laid.
Or just
he's got plenty of experience.
Just how much game he has. Just write in a book and be like, this is how I picked up all my wives.
The smoothest dude of all time. 12 wives, triple digit kids.
He's got kills on kills on kills.
He's putting Antonio Cromartie to shame.
Everybody. That child support's wild.
I don't know how he does it. But as always, we'd like to thank our producer today, Mass Music Radio. They continue to produce music for the masses. So if you haven't already, be sure to go check them out and their other featured podcasts over at www.massmusicradio.com. That's www.massmusicradio.com. I think that does it for us today. We hope you enjoyed our episode. Thank you guys for tuning in again to the High Slot Podcast. Be sure to go check us out on our social media accounts on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, at High Slot Podcast for more daily hockey content. Appreciate you all. Thank you again, and we'll see you next time.
Later.
Peace.